All right, ready to dive in? We're tackling 1984 today, and let me tell you, this book, it stays with you.
Yeah, it does. It really
It
does.
gets under your skin, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just a story.
It's a warning,
Yeah,
and it's a reflection, and honestly, it feels eerily relevant, even today,
it does.
which is honestly kind of unsettling.
Totally. And we've got a lot to unpack, so
We do.
let's dig into those core themes, those tactics of control Orwell lays out, and see if there are any unsettling parallels to our own world.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of control, Orwell doesn't waste any time, right?
No, he doesn't. Page 1, we're hit with constant surveillance, Big Brother, and then there's Newspeak.
Right off the bat.
This whole warped language.
He masterfully cultivates this atmosphere of paranoia and surveillance and...
You know that line? Everyone knows that line. Big Brother is watching you. Right.
You chills.
Sets the tone.
Oh, immediately. Like, boom, you're right there.
You're right there.
And Winston, he's already kind of pushing back, even if it's just in his own head with that diary, right?
Right.
That desire for something real.
Absolutely.
Something genuine. I think we can all relate to that.
Especially
these days.
Yeah, absolutely. He embodies that flicker of humanity, that yearning for freedom of thought and expression,
Yeah.
which totalitarian regimes are always, so desperate to crush.
It's almost like he's like clinging to his own sanity in this world that's gone mad.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes you wonder, how much do we censor ourselves without even realizing it?
All the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But before we go down that rabbit hole. Right.
Let's talk about how the party controls people.
Okay.
Surveillance is one thing, but then Orwell throws doublethink at us.
It's mind-blowing.
Which is just, how do you even wrap your head around that?
Right. And doublethink is essential to understanding how the party maintains its control.
Okay.
It's the ability to hold two completely contradictory beliefs at once
Right.
and accept both of them as true.
Oh, wow.
Think of the slogans.
Okay.
War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength.
It's like designed to break your brain.
It's like Orwell is giving us a masterclass in manipulation.
It is. Those
Yeah.
slogans, they're just like, whoa.
Right. They're
I
meant
think they short-circuit your brain.
short circuit, exactly.
Yeah.
And they illustrate doublethink perfectly. It's how the party manipulates history, justifies its actions, and creates this
Yeah.
environment of unquestioning loyalty and as a form of mental self-defense in that world.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's Newspeak,
Ugh.
which is almost creepier in a way.
It's very insidious.
It is.
Yeah.
You flagged that passage where Syme, the character who's actually excited about it,
Why?
says it's about, quote, reducing the capacity for thought.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. It's like they're trying to erase any possibility of independent thinking.
Precisely. By controlling language, they control the very framework of thought.
Yeah.
It limits expression, dissent, even the potential for rebellion. And you know what?
What?
We see parallels even today
Oh, tell me more.
with the ways language is used to shape our perceptions. Think about how certain words are used to evoke specific emotions or to shut down debate.
Ooh.
It's subtle,
Yes.
but it's so powerful.
It's so powerful. It's
Yeah.
like they're trying to turn people into robots. It's like,
Right.
it's dehumanizing.
It is. It's very dehumanizing.
But then there's Winston searching for that connection, searching for something real amidst all this propaganda and control.
Right.
And that leads him to Julia.
Julia. And Julia, she's something else. She's a firecracker.
She is.
She rebels, but in a totally different way than Winston does.
Right.
He's drawn to the past. She's all about the present moment,
Yeah.
grabbing onto pleasure and freedom wherever she can find it.
She's not going to let Big Brother take her joy, right?
No.
It's like their affair becomes this little pocket of resistance.
Absolutely.
This hidden world where they can actually be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of hidden worlds, there's that part you marked about Winston's dream.
Oh, yes.
About a place without darkness.
Right.
It felt, I don't know, almost hopeful, but also kind of sad at the same time.
Yeah, it speaks to Winston's, deep-seated yearning
Yeah.
for a different world, a world without the party and their control and their surveillance. But it's also, a reminder
Yeah.
of how completely the party has taken over everything
Everything.
in Oceania, to the point where even dreams become this battleground.
Oh, it's like they've colonized their minds.
Exactly.
And even when Winston finds those moments, right,
Yeah.
of connection, of real human interaction, there's always that underlying sense of danger.
Always.
Like they can't ever fully relax.
Orwell never lets us forget
No.
that they are living in a police state.
Right.
I mean, even the rats, right?
Don't he?
Which become this symbol of Winston's deepest fear.
Yes.
Are a reminder of the constant threat of violence lurking beneath the surface.
Okay, well, speaking of fear, we have to talk about Room 101.
Ugh.
That's where things get really, really intense.
Yeah.
You even wrote in the margins, this is the part that keeps me up at night.
Oh my gosh, it's the ultimate nightmare.
It is.
And you know what makes it so terrifying?
What?
It's different for everyone.
Oh, that's so creepy.
It represents your deepest, most primal fear.
Oh, gosh.
The thing that you would do absolutely anything to avoid.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. For Winston, it's the rats.
The rats.
But you know what's so effective? Orwell doesn't even describe it fully.
No.
It's the terror, the anticipation. It's enough to make your skin crawl.
That's the thing about fear.
Right.
It's the anticipation.
It is.
It's the not knowing.
Yes.
And that's what makes it so powerful. And, you know, Room 101, it's the ultimate form of
it's manipulation.
basic psychological manipulation.
Yes.
Facing your deepest fear, not just to escape pain,
Right.
but to betray your own mind, your own values.
It's about breaking you, like, from the inside out.
Yes, it's breaking you from the inside out.
And that's exactly what happens to Winston. He betrays Julia, and he accepts Big Brother.
He does.
It's brutal. It's a brutal ending.
It's a testament to the party's absolute power, you know? Their ability to just crush even the smallest, the tiniest glimmer of rebellion.
It's like they don't want obedience.
No.
They want total and complete submission.
Submission, yeah. They want to control everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Your thoughts, your feelings, your very being.
It's a bleak reminder, though, isn't it?
It is.
That power, especially unchecked power, can corrupt even, you know, the best intentions.
Power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
There you go.
Right.
But there's that final scene with the proles singing.
Right. It's like he's offering us this tiny, tiny sliver of hope.
Okay.
This suggestion that maybe, just maybe, there's still some part of humanity that can't be completely extinguished, you know?
Yeah, but then again, the proles are also they're easily manipulated.
Right.
They're distracted by the lottery, by those mindless songs, right?
Exactly.
So it's like, are they a genuine threat to the party?
Right.
Or are they just another form of control?
It's that ambiguity.
It is.
That refusal to give us easy answers.
Yes.
That makes Orwell such a brilliant writer.
He does. He makes you think.
He makes you think. He makes you uncomfortable.
Yes.
He forces us to confront these uncomfortable truths about ourselves, about human nature,
100%.
about the seductive nature of power,
Ugh. It's so true.
and that very real threat of totalitarianism.
It never goes away, does it?
No, never goes away. It's always there, lurking.
Ugh. Okay, well, this is heavy stuff.
It is. It is.
We need like a palate cleanser.
I know, right.
Let's take a breather for a second. Let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
You mentioned you see like echoes of 1984 in our own world.
Yes.
I'm really curious to hear more about that.
Let's dive in.
So you're saying that even though 1984 was written decades ago, we're still seeing those echoes, those parallels today.
Absolutely. And you know, it's interesting. It's not just about Big Brother watching us through telescreens.
Right.
Although
a little too real these days.
Right. A little too close for comfort, but it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
Think about Winston and his struggle against the party. You said it yourself.
Yeah.
We all feel that pressure to conform, to fit in.
Totally.
And in 1984, it's amplified. It's like turned up to 11.
Right. And it makes you wonder, what would I do?
Exactly.
How much would I be willing to give up just to survive?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Orwell, he's not giving us a history lesson.
No.
He's holding up a mirror.
Ooh.
He's asking us to confront these uncomfortable truths about ourselves, about human nature.
Which is probably why it's still so unsettling, you know, to read today. It's this could happen.
Absolutely.
It could happen here. It could happen now.
In some ways, it's already happening. I mean, you were talking about the echoes.
Yes.
Think about the way we use language.
Okay.
We talked about newspeak, but don't we see that today?
Oh, yeah.
Words being twisted, redefined, used to control the narrative.
It's that whole alternative facts thing. It's like, what?
Exactly. Orwell was warning us about this.
Yeah.
And it's not just governments.
Right.
It's corporations. It's the media. It's even social movements, you know? These tools of manipulation, they're everywhere.
So what do we do? How do we fight back against that? Because it's so easy to feel powerless, especially when you see how the party controls information.
You're right, and that's exactly it. Information is key.
Okay.
Remember when Winston, he gets his hands on that history book?
Yes.
That's a turning point for him.
It's huge.
It opens his eyes to the possibility of a different truth.
Right?
So we have to be critical thinkers, question everything, and seek out different perspectives, you know?
Yeah, it takes work though, right? It's so much easier to just scroll, like
Yeah.
whatever's put in front of me.
It is easier. It's so easy to be passive.
Right.
But Orwell's reminding us that freedom is not a spectator sport.
Ooh, I like that.
We have to participate.
Okay, how?
Engage in those thoughtful debates.
Yeah.
Challenge assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
Be open to changing your mind.
Okay.
Right.
It's like what you were saying before. We can't censor ourselves.
Exactly.
We have to be willing to speak up even when it's uncomfortable.
Yes, even when it's hard. And it will be hard.
Yeah, especially when you're up against the thought police, even if they're just in your own mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
But remember what Winston learned. The most important thing is to stay human.
Okay.
Hold on to your empathy, your compassion, your ability to connect with others.
Yeah.
That's what the party could never take from him.
And maybe that's where the hope is, right? Even in a world as bleak as 1984, there's still that little spark, of something unbreakable.
In the human spirit.
Yes.
That's the message.
That's what we hold on to.
Yes, the world isn't predetermined.
We have a choice.
We have a choice. We can choose freedom over oppression.
Yes.
We choose love over hate. We choose truth over lies.
I love that.
It's a choice.
It is.
And we have the power to make it.
So to everyone listening out there, I know this has been a lot. If you're feeling a little, I don't know, overwhelmed,
A little terrified.
a little terrified by everything we've talked about today.
Don't despair. Be awake, be engaged, stay informed,
Yes.
and never, ever stop questioning.
Ooh, I like that.
That's the best defense we have.
Against Big Brother.
Against any big brother.
Well said. Well said. This deep dive has been intense. It's been thought-provoking. And yeah, maybe a little terrifying at times.
It's Orwell.
But it's a call to action.
It is.
So thank you for joining us on this journey through 1984.
Absolutely.
Let's make sure that we create a future where we choose freedom, we choose truth, and we choose to stay human.
Here, here.
That's it for us. Thanks for listening.